Hey class, Mrs. Lowe here. We're working in Chapter 5, Solving Quadratics, and we've discussed 4 methods previously, and this is the 5th and final method, the quadratic formula. And this is a no-fail method. It always works no matter the quadratic. You just need to make sure it's in standard form before you begin the quadratic formula. So this quadratic formula is a formula you should memorize. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. And that's assuming that the quadratic is in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So I've already identified a, b, and c, and the way I recommend it is that you write the quadratic formula and you put parentheses around every term, or number you're going to insert. So I have negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So I recommend this is what you do to set it up, and then we're going to go ahead and fill it in. So we have negative b, so negative 6, plus or minus b squared, negative 6 squared, minus 4 times a, 1, times c, 13, divided by 2a. So it's set up properly, and I have done the substitution correctly. Now, a big mistake here is what people do next. They do the square root, or they try to type in the whole numerator. Do it in steps. I recommend you do this part underneath the radical next and just find out what that number is. That's known as the discriminant, and we'll talk about that later, but the discriminant tells you the number and type of solutions that the quadratic has. So I have 6, because a negative times a negative is a positive, plus or minus, and underneath the radical we get 20. Well, because 20 is a real number, and it's not 0, we know there are 2 real solutions to this quadratic, divided by 2. Now this can be simplified if you're asked to simplify this and keep it in exact form, but 20, square root of 20 is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 5, which is equal to 2 square root of 5. So this equals x equals 6 plus or minus 2 radical 5 over 2. Now I can factor out a common factor from the numerator. Both 6 and 2 radical 5 have a common factor of 2. So I could actually pull out a common factor of 2. And I have 3 plus or minus the square root of 5 all over 2. Now that I pulled out a common factor, I can actually cancel out the 2 in the numerator and the 2 in the denominator. So in simplest form, an exact answer is 3 plus radical 5 and 3 minus radical 5. Those are the exact answers. Now you can find out the approximate answers by typing 3 plus radical 5 in your calculator, and you get approximately 5.236. And you could type in 3 minus radical 5, and the approximate answer for that is 0.764. 0.764. So there you go. This is using the quadratic formula. It just takes practice, and we'll do some more. Hope that helps.